Welcome to Rita's Kitchen. Today we're going to be making fresh tuna croquettes. But first thing first, in Rita's Kitchen, what must you do? Wash your hands. Okay, so first thing first, in Rita's Kitchen, we all know you wash your hands when dealing with anybody's food. First thing you want to do is lather your hands up. Go up your arm a bit. Down, back down your hands, in between your fingers, up underneath those nail beds, because what you're trying to do is capture all bacteria and germs. Now, if that seems a bit too long, feel free to do the happy birthday song. 10 to 15 seconds, even 20 will do. Okay, now that I'm back, my hands are clean. Now it's time to get started with making these great fresh tuna croquettes. Yeah, you heard me, fresh tuna croquettes. What I want to do is I want to take the time out really quick and show you guys the fresh tuna steaks that I decided to purchase to bring this croquette to completion. So this is a tuna steak, and see how beautiful and pink it is, and it's just moved beautifully. It's actually going to flake really good. But what we're going to do before actually building the croquettes, we're going to pop these in a pan. I've already coated my pan with a little oil, and we're going to let them bake for 6 to 8 minutes. But before letting them bake for 6 to 8 minutes, what you want to do, you want to squeeze you a little lemon over the top of them. You all know what I like about my seafood is never enough lemon. But what I did was, before actually getting started with this YouTube tutorial, I actually had already put lemon over the steaks so it could go ahead and seep in really good, because again, too much lemon on seafood, lemon just wakes all the flavor and the fishiness up of any seafood, and it makes it really flavorful. So we're going to go ahead and pop these in the oven for 6 to 8 minutes. Okay, now that we're back, I've allowed our tuna steaks to cook for 8 full minutes. So now we're going to start building our croquettes. And like I told you guys earlier, it looked like they were just going to flake up really good, and this is great. I'm just going to pick a piece up to show you like what it's doing. Like, that's fresh tuna, like amazing. So, and it'll break up really well for you guys, so we're just going to break it down. You want to really break it down. Breaking it down really good. And you see how beautifully it's flaked. This is going to be some really good fresh tuna croquettes. And break it down as much as you can, because the more you break it down, the more croquettes you'll get. But if you want them to be big chunks, you can do that as well. Now, I know a lot of people, when they see this, they're going to think, well, can I do canned? Of course you can. So that looks pretty good. Now what I want to do is introduce our players, our components, to what's going in this croquette to bring it together beautifully. So now we're going to go ahead and put a spoon and a half of mayo or Miracle Whip, totally up to you. And just to let you guys know, this was exactly 1 pound of fresh tuna steaks. Then we're going to crack 1 egg. Then we're actually going to add some minced garlic. I'm going to shake it in. I'm pretty good with that. But you want to do about a tablespoon. I've decided to go with a little blackened seasoning. Spice it up a little bit. Just a little. Not major. You can do it to your taste palette. Then again, as you all know, lemon pepper or lemons, when it comes to seafood, it's never enough. Go right ahead. Let's shake it up. Just a dab of salt. I don't use very much white salt, so about a half a teaspoon. Then we're going to do a few shakes of black ground pepper. Now we're going to add some breadcrumb, Italian style. 1 teaspoonful. That's enough. This flour is going to be added. And that's about 2 tablespoons, but I only use a tablespoon and a half. So now we're going to mix this all together. And as you all see, I didn't use any fillers like peppers or bread or potatoes or anything. You know why? Because this is a piece of fresh tuna. You want to taste your tuna. So make a croquette. And afterwards, after these croquettes get done, guess what? I'm going to drizzle a little cream of lemon sauce over the top. I may give you guys a brief little lesson on it. Nah, it's like I am. Okay. So that's mixed together really, really well. So, I got my skillet heating up, and we're going to get ready to pat these tuna croquettes out and actually cook them. But you see that little tuna that fell? Yeah, y'all already know that's going back in my bowl. We don't waste nothing in this household. And that's how you want your tuna mix to look Rita's way. You want it to be nice and tight, so when you pick it up, it won't be falling loose all loosely. It'll be ready to fry once you coat it with your flour and crumb on the outside to build your nice little texture. So we'll be back in a sec. Okay, now in the meantime, in between time, while my skillet is preheating to go ahead and fry up those fresh tuna croquettes, hey, why not show you guys those ingredients to that cream of lemon sauce I was talking about earlier. So it's literally 5 ingredients, so simple. What you want to do is you want to melt you about 2 tablespoons of butter. Maybe a half a tablespoon or a full tablespoon, depending on what you like, of minced garlic. Bring it to a nice little sear. Then you want to start adding you a little heavy cream. So we're going to go ahead and pour that in. And that's more than enough because we only need a drizzle. So that was about literally 2 to 3 ounces. Now we're going to add us some Parmesan cheese, grated that is. And just to kick up the flavor of it, we're going to actually add a little bit of that chicken flavor bouillon cube, about a half a tablespoon. And we're going to let it simmer out and let it cook. And that's going to be a nice cream sauce that we're going to do a little drizzle over the top of these fresh tuna croquettes. Be back in a sec. Okay, now that our sauce has come to a nice little simmer and the lemon slices are going through there really well, and if you guys taste it and think you want more of the lemon flavor, just feel free to go ahead and add you a little squeezed lemon juice to it, pure lemon juice, and it'll just wake up that flavor and give you what you're looking for. So now we can get started with building our fresh tuna croquettes and bringing this meal to completion. Okay, now that we're back, I've allowed my cream of lemon sauce to go ahead and simmer down and cook, and it's looking really good. It's time to get started with building these fresh tuna croquettes. So first thing you're going to need is a spoodle, a 2.5 ounce scooper, you know. So you want to go ahead, scoop you some of that good fresh tuna up in there. You could go to the rim or you can allow it to spill over. It's totally up to you. So then that's what you're looking like. You want to smash it down, but not too flat. I like mine a little meaty so I can taste my seafood. So here I have a little flour and breadcrumb. What I'm going to do is just simply coat both sides. Then I'm going to set it to the side because I don't want that oil to catch up with the heat and overcook while I'm steadily doing others. So I'm going to do at least 3 so we could put in there. And we're going to go ahead and get started with frying. And this mix turned out really good. Again, if you guys want to do fillers, it's totally up to you, but these tuna steaks taste absolutely fabulous without even being a tuna croquette. So all those fillers, in my opinion, is not needed, but again, it's totally up to you. So I did my 3 like I told you guys. Make sure you have your skillet preheated. I have only about 2 inches of vegetable oil to fry in. Too much is not good. Just enough is great. So let's go ahead and start the frying process. And don't overheat your oil. And you might get some that might try to fall, but guess what? Put it back together, because when it get in that oil, it's gonna do what it do. Okay, we're gonna let those cook about 1 to 2 minutes on each side until it get golden brown, and then I'm gonna flip and show you guys how it's gonna look. Be back, and you know what, in a sec. Fresh tuna croquettes. Voila.